Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be creating a holiday makeup look. I mean, you can use this makeup look honestly whenever, but I'm just going to say it's a holiday makeup look. So if you want to see how the makeup look comes out, then please keep on watching. And then I'm going to be using the Jaclyn Hill palette just because it has literally all the browns that you need for this look. But anyway, so the holidays are literally here already. And it's crazy. Um, so that's why I came up with the idea of doing like a holiday makeup look. So the first shade I'm gonna go into is something like very like light. I'm gonna go in with Buns, so this one right here. And I'm just gonna use the E38 Sigma brush. And I'm gonna apply it onto the crease and outer corner just like that. So a movie I actually watched with my friend was this movie on Netflix that came out like I think earlier this year for sure. It's been a while now, but I just barely saw it. And it's called Don't Worry Darling or something like that. Starts out with like this couple, and of course I always forget their names. So I'll say the woman's name is Alice. I'm pretty sure actually that's her name. And then the guy's name is, let's go with Jacob. I totally forgot how it starts out exactly, but basically she's, making breakfast. It definitely gives me the vibe of like back then how like a lot of women were housewives. And so she made the breakfast and everything, and he goes off to work. They're in like this small town kind of thing, and he is um like leaving the driveway, and then you just see all the husbands are leaving the driveway. They even had that old type of car that they like people used to drive back then, and they're all like headed towards this place, which was so weird to me because once they're out of their town it was just plain desert. Okay, now I'm going to use a pencil brush. So for this look, definitely a lot of pencil brushes are going to be used. I'm going to go in with a darker brown now. I'm going to go in with Chip. So this one right here. And I'm going to add that onto the waterline here. As the day goes on, they go all back to their houses, and Alice goes ahead and she starts making some food. While she's making some food, um, an odd thing that happens is that like she's like cracking the eggs, and like they just like there's nothing in it. She kind of like freaks out, and like she starts cracking all the other eggs, and they are also empty. And then I think she just like snaps back out of that or something, but it was just so weird. And then just fast forward, so like there's this moment where they're having like a gathering or something. They talk about how like the world is theirs, or I don't know, it seemed very culty from like that scene. I was like instantly to my friend, I'm like, are they part of a cult or something? Like it gave me that vibe, right? And so yeah, so it looks like he and his wife are the leaders, like well, him in particular. So at this party, while they were talking about all that stuff, there's this friend that used to be part of Alice's group friend. She kind of crashes the party a little bit because then she starts saying like they're lying to us, like they're hiding something from us. Like she starts talking like crazy talk from what it looks like everyone else thinks. And her husband kind of intervenes and is like, oh, I'm so sorry, she's just not feeling well. And he kind of takes her back to their house. Allison kind of is like walking around, and she sees them, and it looks like the husband's trying to give her like a pill or something, but she refuses it, like she doesn't want to take it. And like, but while she's doing that, she's just like, it looks like she's just like a blank stare, like she's not even really paying attention, and she's just like out of it kind of. And they kind of talk about her story where like she goes and she had a son or something, and she walked on to the area they said don't like go to, like they told them like you as women they can't go to that area. And so she did go there, and I guess she passed out or something, and like she just, after that she hasn't been okay, and she lost her son. It seems like it gave the vibe where like her son was killed or her son died kind of thing. And so she hasn't been okay ever since. And they kind of say like, oh, she just kind of went crazy, which I doubt it. But anyway, so fast forward. So one day Alice is in like it's like a bus, I would say, definitely a bus heading to town. And because of like everything that the girl was saying at the party, she kind of like fell off. And so as she's like on the bus, like she just like wanted to kind of have fresh air. She didn't want to go shopping. So the bus driver said like, oh, like listen, like I'm gonna have to circle around back. Just so you know. And she's like, no, it's okay. I just wanted to come and get some fresh air. I'm like, it's okay. Yeah, like take me back. But when that happened, there's a plane that was like flying over and it crashes. And Alice was like, oh my God, did you see that? To the bus driver, and the bus driver like, see what? She's like, the plane just crashed. And he's like, what plane? She's like, there's a plane that just crashed. So now I'm gonna take a black eyeshadow in the palette and use this slanted small angle brush by Luxie. And I'm gonna really focus it on the lash line. And so she's all like, okay, you gotta stop the bus. And then she tells the bus driver, okay, like we gotta head over there, we gotta help them out, you know, like obviously, you know, she like there are people that probably hurt and stuff. And the bus driver's like, I can't go that way, like that's not my route. And she's all like, there's people in that airplane, like someone must have gotten really hurt. And he's all like, I'm sorry, ma'am, but like they don't allow me to do that. And so she like tells him like, open the door. And he does open the door to the bus, and she walks to the area that she saw the plane crash. And then she finally gets to this one building, and it's like a weird ass building around in a random area where there's like literally nothing around there. Like it's like plain like desert kind of thing. And like this building, it didn't, I don't even know if there was a door really. It didn't show like there was, but it looked like it was one of those buildings where like it's like where you guys, whoever's inside can see out, but like you guys can't see in. It would look like a mirrored kind of building. And so she gets close to it and she touches it, and like she gets so close to it. So like I don't know, she was trying to maybe see inside or something, and then like she just like passes out. The next scene shows that she's like she wakes up in her bed in her house, and she's hearing noises, right? So she goes ahead and she gets up, and then it's her husband. Her husband is making dinner for them, and so she's like, Jacob, like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm making you some food. And she's all like, okay. Like, she's so confused because obviously the last thing, you know, that happened was that she was all out there in a place that she's not allowed to be in. And so she's like confused. And then I think like she just does, like, she doesn't really remember what happened. So she kind of like dismisses it. And then throughout the movie, like you know, it's more and more like off, like something's off with her. And one time she gets a phone call, and it's the lady that crashed the party that said like they're lying to you guys or whatever. And then she she answers the phone, and like the girl is saying like, you know, and she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like she's just like, you know, you're just not okay. And she just hangs up on her, I believe. She tries to get back into her routine after that, and she goes ahead and she's at the dance studio again. I'm guessing the dance studio because they're all dancing, but it's a weird, like, you feel like something's weird here, you know. And she's dancing, and then she looks in the mirror, and it's the girl that called her, right? Let's say it's Dolores. Dolores called her, and so she's like, she goes to the mirror and she sees her, and then Dolores all of a sudden is like slamming her head against the mirror, and so she's starting to bleed from her head. And Alice like, stop, stop, what are you doing? And then like she does it again, and then again, and then like she's kind of like like screams because of like how like bad it's looking. And then she turns around and all the girls are looking at her like, what's going on? You know, like she seems a little crazy. And so Alice just like runs off. She hurries up and she's running to her house. And I guess her, it's not her next door neighbor because I think it's her back door neighbor. So that's where Dolores lives. And like she's running and she sees Dolores on the roof of her house, and um she has a knife, and then she just slits her throat and she like falls off the roof and dies. And Alice is all like tries to run towards her, and these guys in like red suits come out of nowhere and grab Alice and takes her. And like the other guys are like already bagging up the body, and it was just like, oh, what? That is so weird. They bring like a doctor over to like, give her, basically put her on medication because like what she saw was very traumatic. It's like what happened to Dolores, and like the doctor's like, well, she's been unwell for a while, and we have tried helping her, but she doesn't want any help. And it was just a freak accident, and like they basically say like she accidentally fell or something. I don't know, but then Alice goes like, no, she did not fall, like she she slit her throat, like I saw her. And then he's like, listen, I sometimes when people go through traumatic things, they kind of like make things up or something. So he kind of wanted to prescribe her pills, but she didn't want them. So I'm like, that's fine as long as, you get things under control, basically. Once the doctor left, she kind of confides in her husband, tells him, like, Jacob, we gotta leave this place. This place is not okay. Like, something's going on. They're not telling us something. Like, I think Dolores is right. And Jacob's like, okay, okay. And she's like, all right, but we have to leave today. We gotta leave now. And she's like, okay, we'll leave. And so she goes to pack up her stuff and I think his stuff too. And then she's like, all right, babe, come on, let's go, let's go, let's go. And so they get in the car, and then she's all like, we should go. I packed you got us some snacks, on the road. And he's not like driving off yet. I don't even think he turned on the car. And then so I was like, babe, like, come on, we gotta go. Like, we gotta go now. He's just saying like, I'm so sorry, Alice, I'm so sorry. And these guys in red suits come, and like they're coming, he's just begging him to help her because they're obviously there for her. And he's just like crying. He's like, I'm so sorry, Alice, I'm so sorry. And he's not even looking at her. At that moment though, I'm like, he's in on whatever's going on here, because like all of a sudden, like, they're there for what, you know what I mean? They take her like to the hospital, and it's that one doctor again. They put something in her mouth and they're gonna electrocute her to basically have her forget about everything that she's been like thinking about or something. And I was just like, what the heck? That is not okay. And she wakes up and they take her back home, right? So she's like good as new, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm thinking. I was like already thinking like before this though, I'm like, it looks like they control the women. Like it looks like because there's this one part in the movie where like this guy and this girl come into their community, and like the girl seems a little off, right? Like as in like she seems like she's like, what am I doing here, kind of thing. Like she seems out of it. And that's why I'm like, do these men choose her who their wives are? Like do they get like this guy to like, I don't know, drug them up and do something with them so they can be their like partner in this kind of community? Like it seemed like that. There's this a scene though where Jacob kind of like gets so mad at her. He's just like, what are you doing? Like, I did all of this for you. Like, what are you doing? What are you trying to mess this up for us? Like, I've done so much for us. And he just like literally is screaming at her. And he tries to hug her, but it looks like he's like kind of like trying to like break her because he's hugging her hard because she's like, let go of me, let go of me. And then like she's like showing like, oh my, like let go of me. And I'm like, oh my god, he's trying to kill her, is he trying to kill her? And I was just like freaking out. And so she finally like hits him over the head, right? Like she hits him hard though, so I was just like, ooh, I don't know if he's getting back up from that, dude. Like, ooh. And there's this song that he put on, and like it kind of triggers her, and so it gives us a flashback. Alice, she's at inside an OR room. She's performing surgery on someone, right? And like on her clip thing, it says Dr. Alice, whatever. And she's finally done with the surgery. She gets out, she gets home. At home, Jacob is there. He's on his computer, right? And then I think Alice like, oh, what's for dinner or something like that. And Jacob says like, well, I haven't ordered anything because I tried calling you and you didn't answer me because I didn't know what you want for dinner. She's like, I was doing surgery back to back. I don't have my phone on me during surgery. Like, obviously, hello, who does not know that? Like, how the heck? There's no way that they can like respond to you when. Anyways, so she just goes like, all right, well, she goes to sing and she's washing her hands and she's like, there's no more hot water. Like, there's no hot water. She's like, no. And she's like, just gets annoyed and she's like, all right, well, I think I'm just gonna go change and go to sleep since I can't shower. And he's all like, well, why don't you spend some time with me or whatever? And she's all like, I am tired. And then like he tries to get like some sexy time, but she's exhausted, right? Which obviously, and she's just like, Jacob, leave me alone. Like, I'm gonna go to sleep, right? Which I understand, like she's tired, like being back to back and surgeries are always like hours long. Like obviously she's tired, and especially because he couldn't even like just choose whatever for dinner. Like obviously she was gonna be hungry after her shift, and she had to wake up early the next day again and do all that. So she just like goes to bed, and he, you know, gets mad, but he goes back to his computer, and in his computer, he's listening to the guy that like the guy that I'm saying like is a cult leader. Yeah, he's listening to him and basically telling him like, oh, you know, like you can get the life you want, whatever kind of weird thing. And so it is basically a cult, right? I was right on that. And then um he basically joins it, and then they say like choose your he's doing the application and says choose your like partner, like is this a partner that you have right now, or is this someone you want as your partner? And he says if you put like existing partner as in now. And there's like, just so you know, like these are the warnings or like kind of like terms and conditions of like an agreement. And in the scene we see that he has Alice tied up, and he has her eyes open with this contraption, and like they're basically, and like headphones, and like she's just watching this on recording of like basically like, I guess it's just a thing where like they're just brainwashing her, like she's in like this, I don't even know how to describe it, but she's in that kind of thing, that kind of state. And then he goes and he puts on his stuff too, and he just laying there beside her. And so it seemed like the whole thing is like almost like a simulation. It's like a simulation kind of thing. And so that's what happened. And so once she like flashes back in to where she is now, which again, Jacob's on the floor, dead, and Alice's friend comes in and she's like, oh my god, Alice, what happened? What happened? And she just has covered in blood, and she's just kind of like shocked, confused, like just all these emotions, right? Because of like her memory came back. And so she saw like, oh my god, Alice, you gotta leave. Her friend's saying like, you gotta leave, you gotta leave, they're gonna come after you. And then she's all like, she confesses to Alice that she knew about this whole thing. She says like, listen, like I chose this life, like I know about this. So basically I think she was the one that decided to go into the cult. And so, but she says like, but if you die in this world, you die in the world, which I'm like, to me that did not make sense to me, because I'm like, if it's a simulation, it's kind of like if you're in a video game and like you're, like you die on that thing, and then like it kind of like it cuts you off, and so like in the real world you come back and you're like, you're still alive though, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I don't get how that really worked. But anyway, so she's just telling Alice, run, run, run. So Alice is just like, she had to run. She gets in the car. And like everyone's like following her. Well, not everyone, but like even the men are following her and trying to attack her and like get her to stop. And so she's basically running to back to that place that she went to. So that place is, I don't even know what would you say exactly is that place, but that place, I guess, connects you back into your own body. So she has to go there, and like all these people are like really chasing her down. She has to, and then she going up to that place that she needs to go to that building. It's like this like round and round circle. So like she kind of crashes. So now she's like trying to run, 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 and all these people are running, and then like obviously she finally gets there, and she touches it again, and then everything just goes black, right? Goes black for a while, and then like you just hear like a gasp, right? And then like, so you can assume like she made it and she woke up and stuff like that, which is crazy. But then like I'm like thinking, what if some of them are there already at her apartment? You know what I mean? I don't know. So it's really like open ended, like did she survive, did she not, like what happened, which is so crazy. Because I'm like, like I get like he wanted a better life for her, but like that's her life, like she wanted that life, like I guess they were kind of struggling, but like, you don't become a surgeon just to become a surgeon. It's clearly like that's something you want, like that's a bunch of school that you have to do to then become a surgeon. So it was mostly, I would say, he was the selfish one. He wanted, more time with her, more attention, and that's the way he was gonna get it. And I felt like that was so selfish of him to think that that's something she would want. Yeah, like I'm like, nah, dude, you can't say it was all for her, because in reality, it was for him, you know. Um, but yeah, it was a crazy movie, but very interesting for sure. Anyway, so the last thing I'm gonna do is my lips, and I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna use this one. I'm gonna use the NYX one, and it's like super dry, so let me warm it up. And this is in the shade Peekaboo Neutral. But I definitely did like it. I recommend you guys watch it. Interesting watch. So I don't know. People, I mean, people do things, do crazy things for love, I guess. But does it make it okay? No, nope. So, alright guys, so that's basically it for the look. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you back in my next one.